Welcome back, y'all. Facts and Foolishness. Your favorite auntie, Auntie Joy, here with you, the one that's always got your back. I'm here with my co-host, Uncle Kev. Say what's up, Uncle Kev.
What's up, Uncle Kev?
So today, we have these wonderful people with us: Gina McKinney, Tanel Jones, and Devon.
I don't know.
Come on, Devonna. How you doing?
Wait,
I'm
there
I'm
she
good.
is.
I'm good.
That's great. Please help Joy believe in black love today.
I mean, I'm kind of right there with her. I don't know how much.
Oh my God, I can't believe this.
I don't know if
Oh man, I can't believe this. All right, go ahead and fade me out, Joy.
Listen, Devon, you're gonna understand. He's a hopeless romantic. I'm a realist.
right,
I'm a scientist. Love is something that is in our DNA as a mechanism to try and keep the next generation safe,
right,
and it's how we're wired.
right,
And but because we've had so much trauma, especially as we've come to this country, our psyche is getting in the way of our wiring doing its job to protect. You have the whole hunters and gatherers, where you have, the men go out and do this and that, and the warriors, and they come back and they need to protect the women because they're taking care of the children. But our psyche has messed up that drive in us. It's an innate thing. It's a drive. And because it's all about preservation of the species.
right,
That's
right.
what it is. So
That
we're
ain't
gonna
what
be
they say on the internet, Joy.
I'm not on the internet.
eHarmony don't say nothing about preserving those species.
I'm not on eHarmony. I'm not on the eHarmony. I'm not gonna be
Or
on no
whatever.
eHarmony.
Panther love, whatever you love.
I'm
Great
not
Panther
on it.
love.
No,
I don't
no
know what one of
Black
them
Planet,
sites.
none of that stuff. You ain't gonna have me on there. Don't be looking for me on there. You will
No,
Old
not
people
find
need
me.
love too.com. Yes.
I guess you telling me about stuff that I don't know, because I am not gonna be found on there. Go ahead, Devonna. Take it away.
I agree with you, Joy. I don't know if love still exists. I feel like everything else has overpowered what love is supposed to be like. I feel like social media is destroying love, and it's also destroying Black love. If you look at social media, there's a lot of like negative representation of Black love. So myself, I am a hopeless romantic, but I am slowly starting to be like, it's not gonna happen. So I'm okay with understanding that it's just gonna be me, and I just rather be successful in my life than worry about if the next person's gonna come and be my partner, because I don't see it. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't see love happening right now. But I don't know if it's just my generation.
No, it's not just your generation.
I was telling them, I was like, I remember my aunt. My aunt is in an older generation, and she was saying she didn't believe.
We
She
got
said at this point she's tired of looking and dating, and it's just not going right. And I remember being a teenager, and she said, "I'll be okay if somebody just brought me flowers and wine and dine me and take me on vacation." I was looking at her like she was crazy. And now at 37, I agree. Like I have no more in me. I just don't have any more in me into pouring into someone else and then getting dragged along the way. So my last relationship, he WrestleMania dragged me.
Oh no.
Wait a
Yeah.
minute, hold up, y'all. This show is black love and relationship, not black depression. Come on, man.
I mean, it's not depression. Yeah.
Ah,
He woke up.
it ain't like that, man.
It's not. I don't.
Love is out there. You got to believe. In the words of Deion Sanders, you got to believe.
I believe I do,
There
but
you go. Thank you.
I'm a mom. As a mom, I do tell my son that there's love there. You're gonna find someone. But for myself, I love me. I'm my
Right.
Black love.
Right. It's like if it's meant to be, it'll happen. You can't
Exactly.
force it. You
I'm
can't
not
force
forcing
it
it.
because it
I'm
won't be
not
real.
forcing it comes. If it doesn't, okay. I still lived a great life, but
Hmm.
being realistic in this day and age that we live in, it's so much harder for us to find a genuine partner, a
Right.
genuine
Right.
Black partner. you
Right.
know?
Absolutely. And people think that, oh, if you go get married, your life will change. And how many marriages end in divorce because the
Right.
marriage is just a contract, basically,
Right.
or a ritual or something to put on a show for everybody that's out there watching. And meanwhile, somebody's doing dirt, be it the man or the woman,
Right.
beating you up behind closed doors, running around with your best friend, and
House.
yep.
Yeah. Don't laugh. Right. It's true.
Joy, we need some clinicians
It's
after you
true.
finish, man. Come on, Joy. You gotta believe.
But look, it just is something that if you find somebody that you get along with, and they feel like they get along with you, go ahead and enjoy the companionship. But if you think that
that's all I want.
right.
Just a companion. Look, at this point, I'm tired of paying all the bills by myself. I got an extra room. You can stay in the other room. Let's just make this work. But we could just be friends and just enjoy life together, because the way it's going, I don't see it. I mean, I don't see it. Your generation's a different generation from mine, and you feel the same way, but
I'm gonna have to separate the two of y'all. Can we bring in these experts?
So he's a different generation from us all together.
We about to separate the two of y'all. No. Let's go to the experts, Joy.
All right.
Don't let her corrupt you, Devonna.
She's not. She got
to be joined by Big Mo Dixon. Welcome, Big Mo.
All right. Can you hear me okay? Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. All right. First of all, I want to apologize for coming on late. I think it really totally slipped my mind. I got back in town about 5:30 today, coming from Savannah and Jacksonville, and it just totally slipped my mind about being here on the Zoom this evening.
But we're happy to have you join us.
Oh, and can I add something? I got in late on the topic about this love thing, and the definition of love. I found out what the definition of love is, and it's true to everybody. And it was quoted by the great Al Green. Love will make you come home early, and it will make you stay out all night long.
That is true.
Mm-hmm. That's how I define love.
Yeah, he did say love will make you do right, though.
Yeah, it'll make you do right. Yes, it will. Yes,
yeah,
it will.
But it make you do wrong too, man.
And I know that for a fact. I know that for a fact.
It'll make you do wrong too, man.
Mm.
We ain't gonna talk about that, man.
No, we ain't gonna talk about that.
Yeah, nah. We already surrounded by enough cynical people.
So I have a question about, so it was mentioned, there's definitely, everyone is talking about love for self. And it was also mentioned about things like gaslighting and narcissism. And I know a lot of people tend to use the terminology incorrectly when they're talking about narcissism and whatnot. But when you have somebody who lacks that self-love, and they have people in their ear, girl, you better go fight for your man, blah, 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 when that person is a horrible person, cheating and lying and all that stuff. What is it that in today's environment, where we have so much access to information, that someone needs to be that light bulb that turns on over their head, like, wow, I'm really repeating this stuff from my childhood, picking somebody that's abusive to me and calling it love, and digging my heels in and latching on, and I'm not leaving. And yet I'm upset, and I'm crying, and I'm arguing, and doing all kinds of crazy stuff, making myself look like a fool. What is it that where's the disconnect for people who can't love themselves enough to realize, yes, like someone else said, it's time to step away from this one, even though it's going to feel bad, changes, it doesn't feel good in this way. But when do they realize that if I do make this change, then I will finally know what it feels like to feel good?
Are you asking the experts? Or you
Yes. Yes. I'm asking
I
the
hope
expert.
so.
I was like,
Not,
hold up, let me
not,
go
I'm
get my
not asking
degree
you.
first. I'll be back.
Hey,
What do you say to that, Tanel Jones?
Well, unfortunately, I have to hop off in a little bit, but I think that the answer to that to sometimes maybe never, and that's because of just experiences in, even when we use the word respect, respect needs to be defined because everybody doesn't experience it the same way. They don't learn about it the same way. And so, yes, we are more likely to kind of repeat certain things based off of our exposure to certain things. So sometimes people may never learn that. And the biggest thing is, I think what happens is, even in society now, I see parents as they're teaching their young children to grow up, they're teaching them to be the smartest person in the room. But what they fail to teach them is emotional intelligence. And without emotional intelligence, it makes it hard to function in this world. And so you can be the smartest person in the room, but not know how to treat yourself, not have any emotional awareness of yourself and of that of others, which then impacts that current situation and our community, unfortunately.
How about you, Gina McKinney?
Well, I mean, the one thing that I do, I'm very careful about is the words that I use. So, um, we can always learn to love ourselves. Sometimes we don't have a good sense of what that means, or how to go about doing it. I don't necessarily like when or think it's beneficial or helpful when we say or one person or a person says, you don't have self-love. Um, I think it's negative. It's a negative connotation, and it doesn't really help the person hearing it or using it, especially if they reuse it constantly, believe that they can achieve something higher or greater. So having self-love really is it's really taking the time to look into what it is that makes you happy. It's really about looking into your needs and wants. And yes, you can repeat, as Tanel said, you can repeat. It's not it's difficult to not repeat the past. It's what you can do is try to make sense of what your experiences are. um, Especially if you can see a similarity in what maybe your parent has experienced in the past. If you begin to see similar patterns, it can be a light bulb, a trigger that says, okay, I'm starting to see things that remind me of this, and that wasn't a good outcome. So, what's going on with me? Why I am beginning to do this? What's happening with me? How am I seeing myself? How am I viewing this situation, and why am I making these kinds of decisions that seem to be landing me in the same situation with the same results?
Agreed. Devonna, do you have any input on this you want to give us?
No, I don't have any input because I honestly agree with both of you. Learning what self-love is and understand that my version of self-love may not be the same as someone else's. So I agree with both of you guys. I do.
And when we say both, you're talking about Tanel and
The
Tanel Jones.
experts. I agree with the experts.
Okay, all right. Yeah, you cleared that up, yeah. Because you can agree with me. I'm gonna call myself an expert.
All right, you can call yourself an expert. I mean, tonight's experts, I agree with both of you.
You hear that, Joy? I'm an expert now, Joy. I got one person
She
to
didn't say she
believe it.
agreed with you. If you an expert, I'm an expert too. We all experts then.
We are, right?
Get your pen and paper out, Joy. Get your pen and paper out. I'm getting ready to say something profound. I don't do that very often.
Uh-oh.
You ready? You ready? Let me see your pen. Get your pen out. If you don't have yours, I got my pen. I'll write it down for you.
You know I put my stuff on my phone.
Okay, well then get your iPhone out. This is what I see. I see out here in this community, in this world, and when we talking about black love, and we talking about this particular thing, somebody who repeats, a repeat offender in terms of whether you want to call it enduring trauma bonding or just the same type of relationship over and over again. People get comfortable in their familiar. And people who understand a person's familiar recognize that and gravitate to that. So you gravitate to your familiar, and somebody who recognizes what's familiar to you gravitates to you and your familiar, which creates this cycle of repeating these relationships over and over and over and over again, unknowingly oftentimes. So the thing is to get to a point where you recognize it becomes knowing to you. It's no longer subconscious. You understand what you're doing. Like I think it was Gina was saying, Miss McKinney was saying, becoming knowledgeable about those triggers or what you see, and in terms of the same thing occurring over and over. And that goes, and again, I don't claim to be a social scientist or anything of that nature, but I've done divorce cases for 30 something years, and I've consulted with a lot of experts, and people recognize you in your place. And the thing you have to do is understand, make a conscious effort to get out of your familiar and be comfortable with things that are unfamiliar to you, and to believe in it. That's why I use the word jokingly, but I'm gonna use it seriously, and then I'm a land my plane. That when you are being treated differently, that's unfamiliar.
Mm-hmm.
And when somebody opens the door for you, and you've never been with somebody who's opened the door for you before, or somebody pays the majority of the bills, and you've never had somebody who paid the majority of the bills and doesn't even say anything like that. When somebody gives you a chance to voice your opinion, respects your opinion, and then they follow your lead instead of insisting that you follow them, that is unfamiliar. And a lot of people gravitate away from that because it is unfamiliar. And unknowingly, they go right back to the familiar. And they just call that as, well, I can't find nobody, or this guy was just like everybody else. No, you wouldn't allow yourself to experience anything different because you were comfortable in your familiar.
That's what she was saying about breaking the patterns. That's the pattern, sticking to what you know. That when I say you're reliving your childhood trauma and trying to make something happen that didn't happen when you were 4, 5, 8, by trying to repeat those patterns, it's the same thing. It's things that people have to, first of all, they have to identify what that is in order to know that, oh, I'm doing it again. Let me not go down that road. They have to
but I'm saying, not to cut you off, Joy, but I want to say this. Like I said, now that I've landed my plane, I'm going to pull my plane into the airport and go back to the jokes. But I say that to say this. You recognize your pattern for bad behavior, or what we'll call detrimental behavior. I don't want to call it bad, detrimental behavior. But the thing is, do you recognize your pattern for gravitating away or from moving away from what is beneficial behavior? You got to do both.
You can't recognize moving away from good until you recognize what the bad is.
I agree with you, but likewise, you can still recognize you're moving away from what's detrimental without recognizing the fact that you automatically are moving also away from what's beneficial. You got to believe.
But they don't know it's beneficial if they don't realize that they are seeking out the bad. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
But I mean, that's just one aspect of it. Seeking out the bad. When you find the good, recognize the good. You hear me, Devonna, because you're 37.
I hear you.
Okay, all right. That's your uncle talking to you.
Okay.
That's what uncles do.
So Big Mo, why can't black women find a man out here?
Well, I'm gonna tell you my experiences. I'm a good dude. Even though I've been married and divorced twice, I'm a good dude. And all my relationships is, I never understood this. By me being a good guy like I am, a lot of women don't like good guys for something. We have a hard time. They're not used to, like Kev say, open the door for you. When I'm in a relationship, if I open the door for you the first day, I'm gonna open it for you 20 years from now. But we seem to be, I think it's weak in their mind. With a good man, they like them hard dudes, the thugs and all that kind of stuff. But us good guys, we move along in life, and we finally, now me and my wife, we'd have been together now 16, 17 years. There's no, and she wasn't used to being treated the way that I treat her every day. Kiss her every day, tell her I love her every day. At first, she's kind of skeptical about it. Like, okay, what if he gonna flip? When is it? It's been going on now 16 years, and she loving it. But that was my thing. Why is it that I'm a protector too? Even though I said, I'll protect you and all this kind of, but I never understood what is it about good guys or a good man that kind of like turn them away, push them away. I don't understand that.
They don't make good rap records, man. That's what it is. Good dudes can't rap, man.
That's all I know. I never hit a woman, that, and I was taught that by, my parents and stuff like that, but it's just something that I know that I've gone through. And a couple of my partners, I got them wild partners like that, but, and I think y'all was mentioning earlier, the ladies in their relationship are caught up in that cycle. You would think they would just walk away. Eventually, they'll probably walk away after about 6-7 years of that bad treatment or whatever. Then they'll come back to somebody like me or whatever. But I'm in another relationship.
It's hard to rhyme, pull a chair out. So you can't make a rap record like that, Mo. You ever heard a rap? You ever heard a rap that saying, I opened the door, I pulled the chair?
Oh, I think you're on to something now. Yeah, I'm trying to think
right.
of one.
I was loyal to the day I died forever. It's hard. Nobody want to sign that guy, man.
They don't want to sign up for him until after they done went through it again in 2 or 3 other relationships. Let me go back to this good guy, and maybe they 2 or 3 kids deep. Now they want this good guy.
Gina McKinney, that's a question for you. Why do they want the bad boys?
I think that is such a general statement. It really is. It's very generalistic. I think because I would ask good guys why they choose particular women. Like, what women are you choosing that don't want you? I don't think it's a general kind of woman you're choosing. You have to be choosing women.
Why are you shaking your head, Kev? Stop shaking your head.
Because she changed the whole question. Come on,
no,
Gina McKinney.
I'm not changing it. I'm saying listen, there's 2 sides to everything. You're talking about women in general, like
you can add on what you're going to add on about men. But let's talk about the women first, and then let's address the men. Come on, Gina McKinney. Why y'all like them bad boys?
Let our experts speak.
You'll hear this. This is the majority of the conversations. You'll hear women or men say they like bad boys. This is not just with blacks. This is across. They like bad guys versus, because it adds spice, an element of spice in intrigue. And it has a lot to do with, it could be trauma bonding. It could just be the values that people have that makes them just seem dynamic, compelling, that life is spicy. And someone who does not share that kind of value, who seems to be, I would never call them boring, to seem to be different, right? Where they're nice, we call them, because they're not interested in taking advantage. But those kind of guys usually are really sought after, right? And they are hot commodities. Many women want to date them. So you're asking a man to then be able to just choose one woman and be satisfied with the one woman when they have women that are coming at them in droves because of that personality that they have that is just so, you know, compelling and drawing. So yes, typically they'll see more than one woman because, you know, and then sometimes women are fine with not just, they want the whole man, but they have decided to take part of him or be satisfied with a piece of him because at least they have him. Or women have egos. They also sometimes think that somehow, some way, they're going to win this guy, right? So it's not so much that they don't want a nice guy. They just want a nice guy that's dynamic. It usually has to do with nice guys don't seem to be as dynamic and as compelling, which is not true. Is if you get to know them, you spend time with them, you might find that they're just as compelling. You might find that they're just as dynamic. They just don't show up, show off, and show out like some other guys.
Don't nobody want no man pay rent on the first of the month. You know y'all want
That's
them
not
dudes
true. They
like
do.
on the 16th.
No, they do. But that's where it comes to trauma bonding, because you know that just being able to bond on the hustle, just being able to bond on it's been tough. I know you trying, I'm trying, you know, the world hates you, I love you, you know, that whole trauma bonding can really be an incredibly strong dynamic, right? And yeah, it is what it is. And it just, yeah, it doesn't matter in the moment. This is why I said in the moment it doesn't matter. You know, like Big Mo said, it doesn't matter in the moment. Then they come back later on and they want the stability. In the moment, it's cool. But after a while, that instability cannot be sustained.
Yeah, that is true. I agree with that, Joy. I'm not gonna say. I'm gonna say it. Yeah, 3 kids later, 4 baby daddies.
Boy, and dealing with
They
them
looking for
baby,
the dude who's corny.
boy, and dealing with them baby daddies, boy, whoo, that's work too.
But if you think about it, in the Black community, where do we get our validation from?
I don't know. Tell me that. Where do we get our validation from?
We get it from what we look like, how tall we stand, what we wear, how we come across, what we drive or don't drive, where we live. This is where we get our validation from, because we don't get it from other areas. So that's what we look for, that is supposed to make us feel like we have a winner or make us feel like we're with the right person. Especially if we join with someone, it's supposed to validate us. So we got a guy who is, you know, the bad guy, the guy everyone knows, then it makes us feel like we are more desirable, right? That we were a guy who's a nice guy, or what they call corny guy. Nobody's really, you know, that doesn't make me feel beautiful or sexy or desirable. But the one who has the ability to have any woman who wants me, then yes, it makes me feel like I am, you know, a very desirable person. Mm-hmm. And that's a lot. That's when you're talking about self-love. This is where it talks about waiting. You really have to do your own work. to be able, before you start engaging in these relationships, you have to do your own work, because you'll make those kinds of decisions. You'll be impulsed to make those kinds of decisions in relationships, because that's what you're looking for. Nobody can validate you or make you feel beautiful or like but that person should not make you feel better than you are. You are supposed to be let me tell you, you're supposed to be dynamic on your own by yourself. The only thing that person does is enhance you. Either you're going to operate at the same level, or they're going to enhance you, and the same for you, enhancing them. But they are not supposed to lift your status, lift your spirit, then if that's why you're seeking it, then that's the problem. You know, if he has this, he has that, but you're not thinking about the core person and who that person is when they deal with trauma, stress, When money's not there, when status is not there, when the clothes is not there, yeah, then there's a problem. So the nice guy, they're not, a lot of times they're not caught up with all of that. They're really about, let's just make things, let me get, I want to make a living. I want to make sure that I partner with someone that I love and that we're going to be good together and we're going to be, and I just want to take advantage of life. I'm not caught up in these, you know, societal issues that people are running after, the Facebook, IG. I'm not running after all of this status and these social expectations. I just want to have a good life and enjoy with my family. These are the values. It has a lot to do with where your schema is, your core value is, like what really is important to you.
I got another question, Miss McKinney. Don't worry, I'm not gonna pepper too hard, but I just, I'm very curious about this stuff.
Go ahead.
We talking about black love, right?
Yes.
So, and I don't ever want anybody ever to think that I'm talking about all black women, because I'm not. But but for the sake of conversation, I'm gonna put it in these terms. Black women, some, not all, will require a black man to make more money, have a higher income, have a certain lifestyle, but then that doesn't translate over to if they're dating a white man or a Latino man or an Asian man or even same-sex dating. It's like those requirements don't apply to anybody else but black men. Have you seen that? And I know that's a hard question to ask another, but I'm not gonna say I don't know whether it is or not, but I know I'm posing that to a black woman. But
right.
Have you seen that? And if you've seen that, and if you acknowledge that, why is that? Is that part of our so-called American experience and coming out of oppression?
Well, I haven't seen that or experienced that as succinctly as you've put it, but I'm not saying it doesn't exist in certain cases. And the reason why the expectation on black men will be higher is why the expectation on black men is higher for everything else. Is our generational trauma, is racism, is systematic oppression. It's black men just have to produce, have to prove, have to demonstrate that they are able more than anyone else. And the reason why is because in the other groups, it's an expectation that they will. When you talk about the Hispanic man or Hispanic families, if you look culturally, they typically, even if they cheat, these men are committed to family. They're really about family. They come in, they take care of, they love their mothers. It's very matriarchal, but the fathers they stay committed. Like, again, even if they cheat, they stay committed. And similarly in the white family, in other families, people stay committed in the family. So the expectation is they know what to do. They already have the manuscript script of what needs to happen in families or who they need to be as men. Black men seem to not have an understanding. That's not true. Black men absolutely have an understanding. They have not been allowed to always be able to step up into that. Black men are, in my opinion, the most feared man on this planet if they are allowed to truly actualize who they are, truly live in their purpose without fear of being destroyed. If it was just a given that you are going to be born, grow, get your education or not, find a job, do something, be entrepreneurial, whatever you're going to do, and then continue life, have a family, raise your family, raise incredible children, have an incredible family with no obstacle. Trust me, it's fear. This is why they're cut off at the knees. So if you can't do it literally, you do it intellectually, you do it spiritually, you do it through the media, you do it through conversation, you do it through expectation, and it's conditioning over time. So yes, as a culture, as a group, Black people sometimes will adopt the same kind of expectation and thought, especially if we see the patterns that are talked about in the media, that are talked about in social groups. We'll be like, yes, this must be true. This is what I see because I experience it, and I experience it and it hurts. And I need him to step up. But you have to really look at why isn't he stepping up? Now, there are men who choose not to step up, and that's disappointing. And I understand there's a lot of challenges with Black men, but get the support that you need. I always say, get the support that you need. There is no excuse. Like, there was a time I would often hear, I can't do it because, that's just the world and the white man holds you down. That excuse can no longer be an excuse. No matter if you're working with $25,000 a year or you're dealing with $250,000 a year, make it count. Just make it count however you make it count, because why that's important is because your legacy is depending upon it. Black love is about our preservation, right? Black love is political. Black love is about our generational worth. If we don't maintain it, fight for it, keep it, we're going to die out. We're not going to exist. We have to continue this. And we have to understand that there are things that hold us back, but not just that we're taking responsibility for the other person. We understand we're taking it for ourselves. I'm taking it for myself. I say it to everyone I talk to. I have a child, a daughter. You need to think through this as well. This is your responsibility as a woman. I was always committed. Never. I always saw Black men as kings. I never was going to disparage a Black man. Because I understood from when I was a kid what men were challenged with, men of color, Black men. But did I deal with challenging Black men? Yes. And I just avoided saying certain things. I really stuck to the facts. You don't want to step up, you don't want to do your part, then this is where I draw the line. This is why women have to set boundaries, but set them honestly and set them factually. A lot of times they talk about narcissism and emotionalism and, getting into gaslighting. Why? Because it's become very cliche to say these words, but they're actual dysfunctions. But people don't, the key thing is that we are not honest. We're not forthcoming, and we're not committed to the process. And we're not honest with ourselves. Sometimes we have to set boundaries in love, not because we want to hurt someone, because it protects us, and because it helps that person, that man, to know what is not okay, right? There's a lot, they talk a lot about men going crazy, but if there weren't women letting them go crazy, they'd be going crazy less. And I'm not blaming women. I'm just saying we get caught up in that chaos and we don't realize that there's nothing that's just happening. Everybody plays a role in something happening in that outcome.
Mo, I saw you shaking your head, man. You know how that is.
Yeah.
Brother gotta be a CEO. Then they show up with a dude, white boy, working in the back of doggone gas station.
Yeah. And you said,
wait a minute, hold on. Ain't that the stock boy down there?
Stock boy.
That gas boy.
She said something that made a lot of sense, though. Well, not just the Black man, but the Black culture is so feared by the world. But not just feared, we're the most imitated also. And I think as far as Black women, well, women in general, the thing that I hate, that I see nowadays, the thing that I hate the most is the sagging of the pants. I thought that would have played out 20, 25 years ago. But it's still happening, and I think women can control that, because if y'all would not date these guys or give them that attention, they will pull them pants up. To me, I think that problem could be fixed that way. If women didn't allow themselves to be with guys like that, pull your pants up and I'll date you. We can go out, we can have dinner or go to a movie. But that's one thing that I think women can fix. I used to tell guys to pull their pants up, but I don't do it, not in the world we live in now, because People don't put hands. They want to shoot and touch you now. So I say that's one problem right there that I know women can fix. Because as a man, I know we want the girl, we want the woman. But if
I don't know, Mo, we might be able to fix that too. If you see a brother with his pants down and you just go pull him all the way down by his ankles.
Hey, some of them wear them so low, I got to probably pull them up to his ankles because they already sagging down to his ankles, man.
Yeah,
but I hate,
I'm like, why even put the pants on, man? Just come outside in your drawers. That's what you do.
I remember in about the 7th or 8th grade, my son was 7th, 8th grade. He tried it. No, you ain't doing that. You are not doing that. You know, and I keep my nephews and stuff. I straighten them up with it. But to me, that was one thing. I said, okay, I thought that was gonna play out 25, 30 years ago. You know, if women just don't give them an attention, they'll pull them up because women, y'all are the answers. You are the answers to that. To me, in my opinion, the women are the answers to that problem.
I know we wrapping up, but I just want to tell all the dudes with your pants sagging. I just want to tell you this: please wash your drawers. Can you do that?
Or wear some.
Right. I'm done, Joy.